Well, like I say, Daniel Gil, he comes from a time that there doesn't exist a computer, so designers has to make everything by hand. So it's very different about the design that we do nowadays. And well, maybe his background was more similar that the fine arts background. Yes. So the way that he makes his works maybe could be more similar than the way that the painter makes a painting. Okay. So for him, when he was doing a cover for a book, it was the same that, like I say, it was a painter doing a painting. Okay, it was the same commitment. He was not all the time making book covers. In the beginning, he started to work in the record industry. He was starting in the music business, making record covers. But maybe it's not very famous, this part of his work. He is famous when he started to work in Alianza Editorial, that is a book company here in Spain, and all the work that he did in this company is the work that made him famous inside of the Spanish design. Well, he has a style that you can recognize very well, because it's a style that he uses a lot of things that you can find in your usual life, like objects, for example. And he tried with these objects to capture what was the essence of the story of the book. Because, well, probably when he was working in Alianza Editorial, he make about 5,000 covers for books. So we can think that it was impossible that he was reading of these books in the time that he was making these covers. So he doesn't know maybe the whole story about the book, but he knows a little things about the history and try to choose something that was the essence or the principal thing of the history of the book. We can see also that, like I say, he has a lot of influence about the world of art, maybe of surrealism, maybe conceptual art. Well, like I say, because he comes from a time that there is not any computer, so he was using objects that was real objects, like this one, these glasses, and maybe then he makes a little treatment with photography or with collage, but like I said before, most of the work was done by hand. Also, he was using techniques like typography, objects, printing dots, photography of textures. These were more or less the majority of techniques that he used in his work. Here you can see that he was using a technique that is a printing technique, like using the dots that usually we use in the printing process. And when he discovered a technique, most of the time he was using this technique in a few covers, not only in one. You can say maybe that he was repeating himself, but it's not exactly like that. It was like he was trying to do similar variation about these techniques, and then he tried to explore another one. Sometimes he mixed techniques, like here, like he was doing a drawing, and also he is using an object with that. Here again, it could be a sculpture, and then it's using another object. Well, like I say, in 25 years, he was doing like 4,000 covers and 13 collections for Alianza Editorial. We can say that this is really a lot. So that's why that he is a master in this field, because he was working a lot in doing the same about the years. So now we can say that he is like I say, like the guru in this field in Spain. Well, now I'm going to show another works of other designers that are of another generation. Here we have Manuel Estrada, that I say, well, I'm your son. This is a joke, because he is not a son of Daniel Gil, and also, well, Manuel Estrada is not only doing cover designs. He is doing a lot of things in graphic design, but when he was doing this kind of work, covers, you can see that he has a lot of influence on Daniel Gil. The same company, Alianza Editorial, asked him about to do a series of works that go on the style of design of Daniel Gil in this case. Here also you can see that Manuel Estrada is doing first a drawing before to finish the work, before to finish the cover. He's making a drawing, and then he's finishing this work. So it's interesting here to see how he's doing this kind of sketches, sometimes very quickly, and then when he has the idea about what he wants to do, he finishes the job. Well, like I said, these works are for the same editorial, Alianza Editorial, and well, in this case, he is trying to do like something similar to Daniel Gil, but a little bit modern, no? Or contemporary. Why they choose him to do this kind of work? Maybe it was because in his previous work he was doing something similar. For example, in this book, is another book. It's not for Alianza Editorial. It's a book about fashion, and he's using techniques that are similar, like we saw before in Daniel Gil's covers. Also, he was working for El País, the newspaper. In these books, for this newspaper, he was using a technique that you can see that are similar also to Daniel Gil. Well, here we have Isidro Ferrer. Isidro Ferrer, sometimes he said that for many illustrators, they think that he's a graphic designer that works in the Illustrator field, And for more graphic designers, they think that he is an illustrator that works in the graphic design field. This is why, because maybe he is missing these techniques, and sometimes you don't know exactly he is a graphic designer or he's an illustrator. In the work of Isidro Ferrer, you can see that he's using also a lot of objects of your ordinary life, and he's using these objects in his work. So this is why you can see that he has some connection with Daniel Gil too. These designs of here are for posters, it's not covers, but well, you can see that he's using stones and mixes with another technique. And then when he's doing his own books, well, he is using also this kind of objects, like this book that is using a lot of stones, so everything on this book is making with stones. So you can see that his work is very simple, but I think in the visual, the final result is very amazing for me. Also, this one is another book that he did everything, the cover and also the illustration inside of them. Here is using another techniques. Even he can use something like bread, and could be interesting for his work. Well, Javier Jaén is another Spanish illustrator that he works for a lot of companies in USA. He works here in Spain, but he was like freelance for companies in USA. Most of them are editorial, newspaper, etc., and so on. And in his work, you can see also that he's using this technique that we was talking about mixing objects with sometimes drawings, sometimes papers. These books here, this work for Grafica. Grafica is a website for graphic designers. And these are books that are talking about some graphic designers that are very famous in the world, like Saul Bass or Paul Rand. So he's doing these covers, and he's trying to use some object that show maybe something that if you know the work of these designers, you can recognize very quickly what he's talking about. For example, we can see in this one in Saul Bass, he's using something that is very famous in Saul Bass. For example, this poster of here is one of the most famous works of Saul Bass. It's a poster for a movie of Otto Preminger. It's called Anatomia of a Murder. And also he's using another thing that is the glasses of Saul Bass. So he's missing these two things, and in a simple way he's making a cover for that. Also here, this work is of Paul Rand. This very famous poster of Paul Rand is a work for IBM. He's using like the initials of the letters here, for example, I or B, E, M. No? He's making like a little bit joke with that. So sorry. If we can see in the cover that he made for Paul Rand, he chose like I don't know the name of this in English, sorry, a cuerda, rope, I think. Well, and also he's using tecla, se me ha olvidado también, of computer, okay? Because it's a computer company, no? So he's using these things to try to capture, like I say, the essence of this poster that is very famous. Also here, this is a book cover for Cassandre, another graphic designer very famous. In this kind, he was friends. And his most famous poster was this one. So again, he's using an object that it could be similar to this poster, so someone that knows the work of Cassandre can recognize very quickly. And of course, there was a book about the work of Daniel Gil too, so he made a cover of Daniel Gil book in this time. These are another works of Javier Jaén. These works are for another books, and he's using again a lot of objects. Another book of him. This could be a little bit different. It's more illustration. Well, now I'm going to show some works that are more close to the illustration field. So it's a little bit different of the work of Daniel Gil. For example, we have Joaquín Pertierra. This one is an old illustrator here in Spain. But if we see his work, we can see that his work looks very modern too. This work, I don't know exactly about the year, but you can see that it looks like could be a book of nowadays. So I don't think this work looks very old. I don't know what do you think about? This is a little bit different. Okay, this is Javier Zabala, another illustrator here in Spain. This is more contemporary. Miguel Ancho, he comes from Galicia, and he's famous because he was working in an animation field that we call Atlantis. Well, he has a very peculiar style too. And also I'm going to show some works of a designer that works in Alicante, that is the city that I live. This is Javier Saez. and that one is Pablo Auladel. Well, to finish this lecture, I was thinking about what is the future of the books, because well, many people say that the books like we know is going to finish. We are not going to use paper anymore. So I'm going to show something that could be a solution for the future of the books. One of these is this one that I discovered recently. This is a book about travel around North America and South America. And what is interesting in this book is that you can use a mobile phone with a QR, I think is the name. So then you can see all the pictures and all the videos that they were doing during this journey, and you can watch this in your mobile. So you are doing those two things. You are reading the books, and also you are watching videos and watching photos. I'm going to show you a little bit how it works.
Estamos en el inicio del Inca Jungle Trail.
Aquí empezamos nuestro recorrido en Abra, Málaga, 4.800 metros. 4 días nos esperan de mountain bike, trekking
Hasta Machu Picchu.
I like this book because I think it's a way of mix these two techniques. No? We can enjoy the reading, and also we can enjoy using our mobile or device, and we can watch, like I say, videos about this journey. We can watch photographs, and even we can enjoy music while we are reading this book. So I think it's a good solution for the future. Okay. To finish, something that is more, well, maybe is more common nowadays, that is books that we can enjoy in our tablet, like an iPad. And we have good companies here in Spain that they are doing good illustration books in this kind of devices. So we don't have to go outside to find people that is making this kind of book. We have here companies that they are developing this kind of works here in Spain too. And for me, this one is more of the interesting that I have found. This is a company that he had choose some classics, and they have make some interactive books about them. Well, I'm going to finish with this because I don't have more time. So thank you, gracias.